guys, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a rainbow dream catcher. There are several steps to this project. It's a fairly time-consuming one, but it's certainly something that you can do with your children. I have the kit available on our website. If you want to buy it, it will include everything, the embroidery hoop. You'll receive all 6 colors of the yarn. You'll get a piece of cardboard like this to wrap the yarn around. We've got silver paint and glitter, your star template, the board that you'll cut the star out of, as well as the little cloud strand here. And then you'll also have white paint, which we're gonna start with. One thing that you need to keep in mind is you will need a hot glue gun for this project. We don't include that in the kit, but I will include a link to purchase this kit if you have not already. I'll put that link in the comments below. So the first thing that we're gonna do is paint the embroidery hoop, and it's going to end up being this way. So the yarn that we wrap around, so we'll have strands, like groupings of pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet hanging from here. And then we will have the little cutout star that will hang in the middle that'll be silver with silver glitter, and then the strand of what looks like cotton, but essentially the cloud, to resemble the cloud, will go around here. That's where you will need your hot glue gun. So to begin, we paint this white, and the reason is because when you glue this strand on, obviously it's not going to cover it completely, and you don't want to see this wood color. You want it to be white. So before you do anything else, we are going to paint. So you should have a paintbrush, and I already got it all over my hand. There we go. But just a even coat. You don't need to do the back, and it's not really all that important to get this top edge because it's gonna mostly be covered, but I usually just do it anyway. I have a piece of, well, 2 pieces of cardboard laying down just to protect my table here. You can do whatever you want to put down, scrap piece of paper or whatever. So by purchasing the ready-made kit, and obviously it includes this tutorial that you're watching right now, you actually save quite a bit of money. So instead of having to buy an entire spool of each color of the yarn in a whole bottle of silver paint, a whole bottle of white paint, a whole package of paintbrushes, a whole thing of silver, glitter, all of that stuff, instead of having to buy all of that, we give you the quantity that you need. You'll actually get a little more than what you need just to be safe. But it's the same with the jewelry making kits that we sell. They save you a significant amount of money by buying the kits, because you don't have to buy the entire package of beads or the whole bag of jump rings or whatever it is. So make sure you check those out. So I'm gonna get this finished up here, and then I'm gonna set it to the side to dry, and I'm gonna show you how we do the yarn. And I'm not doing, make sure I'm not doing this very bottom part because it's all going to be covered anyway. Okay. Making sure I got everything there. Should be good. Okay, so lid goes back on the paint. You can always use that for something else. Okie dokie. So I'm gonna set that to the side. And the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to wrap the yarn. So you will receive, like I said, pink, the orange, and we do kind of a pastel version of each of these. So the orange, you'll have yellow, green, it's kind of a minty green, this kind of light blue, and a lavender kind of purple there. So again, we're making sections of each one that will hang from the bottom of the embroidery hoop. So to do that, and I've already done these 5 colors, so I'm going to show you with my last color here. I'm going to move these out of the way. You'll use the cardboard that you have that'll be about 14 inches, and you're going to grab a hold of the string on here onto the board, and you're just going to wrap it around like this. And count as you do it, because you want to wrap it around 100 times. And yes, that's a little time consuming, but if you don't do it that many times, your Dreamcatcher looks kind of thin and puny. I think it's easier if you let this the ball of yarn just kind of fall on the ground and do it that way. But I'm going to kind of speed up here, and we will skip to the next step here. Okay, so I wrapped it around 100 times. I'm gonna cut that, and you can see the board has bent a little bit, which is fine because you need to bend it to slide out all of your loops here, and keep them together. So you want to keep the loops like this. So I have now all of my colors. Orange. All right. So now that I have all of these done, I'm ready to put them on my embroidery hoop. So in order to do that, I need to loop them through. One thing that I want to do first before moving forward is I want to make my star. That way it can be drying before I start this step. So I'm just going to kind of scoot these up here. And there's a couple ways you can go about this. So you can cut out the paper and then trace it onto here. I think it's just as easy to just lay the stencil that we give you on top of the board and just cut around it. This is a kind of a thick, or sorry, not a thick, a thin chipboard. So it's fairly easy to cut with, just some sharp scissors. I am going to, for the sake of the tutorial, so you can see what I'm cutting, I am going to cut it out. If you do want to cut the star while, like on top of the chipboard, you can tape it down. It might be a little easier. And then what we're going to do, once we get this cut out of the chipboard, is we're going to paint it silver and sprinkle some glitter on top, because who doesn't love glitter? And then we will hang it from the middle of the embroidery hoop. Okay, so let me line this back up. And again, I'm going to cut that. And I think it's easier to kind of come in from the sides. Like this. If you have a metal or leather punch or a really sturdy hole punch, you're gonna wanna punch a hole in the star. Otherwise, what we're gonna do is use the hot glue gun to secure some of the yarn to it. Okay, we've got, let's see, I'm kind of working my way backwards here. This is not obviously the same as cutting paper, so it's a little more difficult. All right, almost got it. And then so star, can round the edges a little if you want. The other thing you can do with this, if you don't want to do the glitter, well, a couple options. You could use glitter scrapbook paper to cover it, or you could wrap it in whatever color yarn you wanted, if you wanted to do something like that. Okay, so I'm going to use just this wax paper and hold it down like that. I'm going to get my silver glitter, my silver paint. And I am going to paint, and when I paint it, I want to get a pretty good layer on there. That way when I sprinkle on the glitter, it will stick, and I don't have to worry about putting a layer of like glue or something like that. And I'm getting the edges as well. And you can paint both sides. If this is gonna be something that you hang like in the middle of a room, I would definitely make sure you paint both sides of this. Do one side, cover it in glitter, let it dry, and then do the other side. If you're hanging it like against a wall where you won't see the back side, then that won't matter. All right. So because I'm doing this on wax paper, because it's kind of sliding around, it's not gonna matter that it won't stick. So again, a really good coat so that it's still wet. I'm going to now sprinkle on my glitter. It comes in your little kit as well, so a good amount here. And you can, kind of move it all around like that. I'm gonna let it dry, and then I will dump off the excess from there. So let me scoot that out of the way, and then we're gonna move on back to the embroidery hoop. So I've got that now. It is dry, and I'm ready to put on my colors. So I'm going to do, I'm gonna start with red, and I've still got it attached like this. And actually, I'm gonna do red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. So I know that yellow and green are gonna be in the middle. I think I'm gonna start with those and work my way out. That way I can make sure that they are in the center. So I'm gonna start with my yellow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my loop here. I'm just gonna put it over, and I'm gonna grab a hold of the rest of the yarn, and then I'm just gonna pull it tight. So make sure that you're not caught on anything. And it takes a little bit of effort, I guess, because you're gonna have a lot of pieces that you're trying to pull. So you wanna get all of these. We've almost got it all. From here, once we get it all, and you want to comb out the batch here. You don't have to worry about any pieces like that. Those are going to get covered. Okay. So you just kind of comb it out with your hands. Like this. And you can either trim it now or go back once you get all of it on and then trim it. So I'm ready to do my next color. So I'm gonna do green, and I want this over more in the middle. There we go. So again, like this. And then I want to, hold on, I'm backtracking here. Okay. So the green, we're gonna do over, you know, and you're constantly like smoothing out the pieces. So green, we're going over the hoop, pull it through again like this. And again, pull it tight. And if some of these pieces don't get are a little bit loose, you don't need to worry about them. When we put the clouds around, it's going to cover up most of that. So okay, so I'm gonna finish. You can see as I find certain pieces and pull them, it pulls this stuff tight. I'm going to put my other colors on, and when I come back, I'm gonna show you how to trim it, and then we'll put the last few little bits together. All right, I've got my colors on, and I am now going to trim them. And what I'm doing is just kind of pulling apart where the loops came together. Kind of straighten this out. This yellow one got a little crazy here on me. There we go. And this is up to you on how neat you would like these to be. Looks like I've got a few more here. You can cut them straight across. You can keep them uneven. It's really your preference. So I'm kind of combing them out. And let's get the other two here. Okay. So again, combing them out. You could do this for hours. It's you know, kind of just part of it. It's never going to be absolutely perfect, but you know, this is a really fun project to do with kids. So, you know, you need to make sure that they understand that it's okay for things to not look perfect. My older daughter really struggles with that, which I both dislike and admire, I guess. I want her to want things to look nice, but sometimes it makes things hard. So I'm just fixing the last few pieces that I see kind of bunched up still in here. Like I said, this yellow one for some reason got a little messy on me. There's plenty of yarn that you'll have in your kit though, so you can always, if you end up with a color that kind of messed up or whatever, you can just take that part off and redo that section. Okay, so let me get all these loose pieces out of here. So I am going to run along the bottom here with my scissors, and I can either curve it, I can shape it as a V. I'm gonna do kind of a little bit of a curve. Definitely need sharp scissors for this. And, you know, if you brush it out a little bit more, you'll probably see a few more stray pieces, and then you can go back. It's kind of like getting a haircut. Yep, see, like that. Okay, that is good. So from here, now that we've got all of this done, we're ready to start putting the rest of it together. So what I'm gonna do is I want to first, before I put the cloud part on, I want to make basically like a holder for the top. So I'm just gonna pick a color for the top, and it's also gonna be the color that my star hangs from. If you want to use, like if you have some extra white and you wanted to use that, you can. For this particular one, I'm gonna use this blue, and I'm going to double it over 4 times, and then I'm gonna make a little knot. So basically I have 4 pieces of yarn that are about 8 inches. And then I'm going to also tie them on the other end. And this is going to end up being what I hang the strand from. And I'm going to turn this to the back. And I'm gonna put, I've got my hot glue gun. I'm gonna put a little drop of glue here and here. And I'm gluing those down. I don't want it to see this very much, so that's why I'm keeping it pretty short. You can certainly make yours longer. So now it has something to hang from. And then the other thing that I want to do is with my star, this is the back side still. I want to also use, and I'm just going to do a single piece for this, another piece here, and use something that I can work on here. I'm going to glue the strand here to the back like this. Be careful when you're touching your hot glue. If you work with hot glue, you'll know your tolerance level for it there. And then what I'm gonna do is put it face down, and I want it to be in the center, so about like that. And I'm gonna put some glue right there to hold it. Then just trim this. So the last step is putting the glitter everywhere. All right, so the last step is going to be putting the little cloud part on. So what we're gonna do, make sure I'm in the screen here for you. And you have a couple options here. You can either go all the way and cover this up, or you can start here and work your way around. I prefer that. I don't like covering this up. If you feel like your yarn is kind of messy and you want to cover it, you can. I think this has come together pretty well, so I'm going to just do the exposed part here of the embroidery hoop. So I'm using my hot glue gun, just pressing it down. I always have to make sure I'm still on the screen when I do these bigger projects. Sometimes I find myself out of the frame. Okay. And we will trim right here. Make sure that it's all on there. All right. One thing I don't want to leave out are the eyelashes. So these will go on just like this. You can space them out however you want. You might need to add a little bit of additional glue if they are not sticking, like that. That is it for this tutorial. Make sure you check out the kit to create this in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys.